And so today, throughout the presentation, if you guys have any specific questions, we're going to cover a lot today because there is a lot to cover about residence life. But if there's anything that we don't answer, feel free to just pop a question in after we finish talking about what's on the slide. We might cover it later on in the PowerPoint, but if we don't, we're also going to save a couple minutes for questions towards the end of the presentation. And a lot of this information can be found on our website. Raymond is going to try to type in the links. If you have any specific questions about different sections, different questions, he's going to try to send the link to our website that leads you directly to that. But if anything, you can always just type in St. John's University and just some keywords, and usually it will come up. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So this presentation is on the spot, away from home, navigating residence life. And so I just like to start the presentation by just saying a big welcome. So this is kind of a little bit about our mission statement and what St. John's is all about. So we're a Catholic Vincentian metropolitan and global university. We offer the core curriculum that enacts a Catholic and Vincentian identity and affirms the values of the liberal arts and sciences and develops an engaged citizenry to serve their communities. So the core is based on our Catholic and Vincentian traditions, like I said, and it provides a unique foundation for all students, emphasizing the dignity of the human person and the diversity of human communities. So I won't keep going on, but you can read the slide. But this is just a little bit about what St. John's is kind of founded on. Again, we are a Roman Catholic university. However, actually less than 50% of our population is Catholic. And you'll learn that if you also just type that in on our website, which everyone is comfortable here. We have tons of different cultural backgrounds, ethnicities. So I just like to really start the presentation that way. So then we're just going to go into a brief introduction about us. So you may be wondering who we are, what year we are, what our majors are. So if you have any specific questions about our majors, feel free to ask. So my name is Emma Cavalli. I'm a junior. I'm a childhood education major with a concentration in psychology. I'm also in the 5-year dual degree master's program in special education, which means that I will be spending a total of 5 years here at St. John's. I am also on campus a campus tour guide, and I'm secretary for that student ambassador program, which is our campus tour guides. I'm also the co-founder of a club on campus called Future Educators. So if any of you are interested in the School of Education and decide to come in fall 2024, odds are you might see me. And then I'm just going to pass it over to Raymond.
Yep. Hi, everybody. My name is Raymond. I'm a senior biomedical science major, and besides being a part of the lovely ambassadors program, I'm also a resident assistant here on campus, as well as being a part of the Italian Cultural Society.
All right, perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into a couple. So again, this covers about what our St. John's University community is about. So this is, I kind of like to say this for our resident students, but our community is a home to students from across the country and even around the globe. So this creates an opportunity for the rich exchange of culture, ideas, and new perspectives. So residents, assistants engage in our students in programming events to build community, camaraderie, and support within our buildings. And at St. John's, we have plenty of traditions for you to look forward to. So a couple of these traditions we will mention as the presentation goes on, but we do have a lot of events for students that our resident assistants host, also known as RAs, and it's really great events to get a part of, especially to meet friends, hang out with your roommates, but we'll get into that further. All right, so if Raymond wants to take this away, he probably knows it better than I do.
Yeah, sorry, I was just having a technical difficulty. Could you repeat what you said? The residence life overview? I got it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here are the three freshman halls that we offer to our students. So we have two suite style buildings as well as one traditional. So our two suite style buildings will be Hollis and De Silva Hall. They're right across the way from each other. So they're for our first year students, and some of our transfer students are also in there. There's 6 floors, both in total, and they have required meal plans there for freshmen. And Donovan Hall is our traditional style dorm. So that's more like a Jack and Jill style with a connecting bathroom, again, first year students and transfer students. They're all located in the residence village. They're all 6 floors, and they all have a required meal plan. And yeah.
Perfect. So if you guys have any specific questions about these residence halls, these are going to be for obviously your first year in transfer. So if you do decide to reside on campus, most likely you would be in one of these three. And I always like to add that although we have a small residence population, it's about, I would say, 60% commuters, 40% residents, or 70% commuters, 30% residents. So it's kind of a little bit of a different percentage, but we do host a lot of events that combines resident students and the commuter population. So you really get to know who is in your grade level, your year level, and also just who's on campus in general. So I'll leave time for a little bit of questions about these buildings. Again, they do have pictures on the website. I personally, we can give a little personal experience. I lived in Hollis Hall my freshman year, and I only ever had great experiences. So I had, in total, I was in a double with a roommate that I found. There's a couple ways to do roommates, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I found her off of a Facebook group that was kind of St. John's University themed. We FaceTimed, we really hit it off, and then we met each other in person, and then I wrote her down to be my roommate. I also had four other people that were in my suite, and we'll talk about what is in a suite and how it kind of works. But in a suite, you typically have a common area that will have a couple couches. It will also have a mini fridge, and it will also have a microwave for you as well. So it is really great amenities for our freshman students. Raymond, if you want to talk about where you lived freshman year.
Yep. So my freshman year, I also lived in Hollis Hall, but I had a little bit of a different experience because it was during COVID. But still, with all the COVID restrictions, I still had a great experience. To find my roommate, I did our little Match.com selection where you fill out a survey of what you like, where you like to study, when you like to go to bed, and all these different things. And I found a roommate who his hometown was not too far from me, so I felt really comfortable living with him, and I had nothing but great experiences in Hollis.
Perfect. So if anyone has any questions about Hollis Hall, Donovan Hall, or DeSilva Hall, feel free to leave that in the chat and we'll answer it as soon as possible. But if not, we're going to head on forward to the next slide. All right, so at St. John's University, we also have the option of themed communities. So the St. John's Living Experience is enhanced and maximized by themed community options. The goal of these communities is to bridge the academic and residential experience and link students, faculty, and administrators with common interests and academic focuses. While living in themed communities, students experience an intellectual and scholarly climate. They discuss various topics and help one another with coursework. Resident students report high levels of satisfaction, and first-year residents are more likely to return their sophomore year. So you may be thinking what these themed communities include. So we have gender inclusive housing, and we also have what's called our 24-hour quiet floors, which can be located in some of the freshman buildings as well. So if you're a very quiet person and you know that you study best and you live best within a floor that is completely quiet of noise and you really like to, that's what you're more comfortable and used to at home, we have that option available to you as well. And there's more information about these two options on our website. And Malik, I see your question. I believe Raymond is answering it right now. But what is the least amount of students that share a bathroom in the suite styles of rooms? So because of COVID, we have upped the amount of students that can be in a room. When I first came to St. John's, the maximum was a double. So you would only have yourself and another roommate. However, now they're switching to have more of a triple and even possibly quads. So that's 3 to 4 people per room. So it kind of really depends in general how many people are in your room. But I've only ever shared a bathroom with, I would say, 2 people. So I would say about 2 to 4 is probably your best bet. And then you said, I saw a suite that had a quad room next to a single room, but thought that was too many people. So yeah, so the rooms are designed. My freshman year, I was in with just me and my roommate, but that room was typically very big. It was bigger than the typical rooms. So if you're in a quad or a triple, you will be placed in a bigger room. I live in currently a triple right now, and the room is significantly larger than what a double would look like. So they do give you that extra space because there's extra people in the room. Barbara, if you don't find a roommate, is one assigned to you, and what's that process? So we're going to get into that in a little bit, but I'll touch on it briefly. So if in order to find a roommate, there's a couple of options. We have, like Raymond said, it's kind of like a Match.com. So it's like this online survey that you take and you put in all of your interests. So let's say I like to go to bed early. I like to wake up early. I study at night. I like this type of music. I'm interested in sorority and fraternity life. All those types of questions, anything under the sun, you'll be asked, then you'll receive a percentage. That percentage is then compared to other students' percentages that have taken the survey themselves, and you kind of get to decide and read their profile and then contact them. Additionally, a lot of students also find their roommates, such as myself, on social media. So there's a lot of Facebook groups, Instagram groups, Snapchat groups. So you kind of get to figure that out. It'll say like class of, and then whatever your year is. So I never had an issue with that, and I've always had people find success with that. But if you want to, you can go in completely random as well. I've also heard success stories. And lastly, let's say you have a friend from high school, or you have a friend that you know of that is also attending St. John's and is your year. You do have the option to live with them as well, as long as you put down your deposit and fill out your housing selection application as soon as possible. Sorry, that was a mouthful. um, Adele, do these suites have singles? What are the chances of being able to pick all of your roommates? So, as of right now, there is the option to have a single. If you do require a single and you do fill out the form for that, there are specific people that deal with, let's say you have a specific, let's say, request that you need a single room. They do look at those applications and they do look at those requests, and then they either approve them, and that's how you can get a single. They are kind of hard to come by now because coming back from COVID, we're really trying to up our numbers and the amount of people that live on campus. But it is possible to have a single in a suite, yes, as well. And what are the chances of being able to pick all your roommates? I had success picking my roommates. Usually it's kind of based on a priority basis. So let's say you put down your housing deposit, you fill out the application, then you're able to do your selection. As long as you do it on time, you should be all set. I lucked out and was also able to pick a room that also had my suite mates in it that I knew. But sometimes you won't know, obviously, everyone. But that's what the RAs are for. So you will fill out like contracts, rooming contracts with your RAs. So just in case you do have someone in your suite that you do not know, just in case an issue arises, let's say you guys have a fight over toilet paper, the RA, that housing agreement should state, we're cleaning the bathroom every week. This person's supplying toilet paper for this week. It gets very specific, and just to avoid those difficult conversations, maybe with people you don't even know. And let's see. What percentage of undergraduate students live on campus? I don't know the exact number, but I believe a big Raymond, do you know the exact percentage at all?
I don't know the exact percentage, but I believe it's like 40% ish
I would,
around there.
yeah, I would say it is a large percentage, especially because we are, in relation to that, we are a technically commuter school. But there is a large percentage, and you will get to meet a lot of new people, especially if you do live on campus. All right, so I know there's a lot of questions. Raymond's going to answer the rest, but I'm going to move on in the PowerPoint. Feel free to type anything out, and we'll get into more details in a bit. So, we spoke a little bit about our resident assistants, which are also known as RAs. But these are individuals who are selected by the Office of Residence Life, and because of their interest in people, proven maturity, and their sense of responsibility. So these people don't just obviously get these positions, and I know Raymond can talk all about this, but there is a specific process that they need to go to in order to become an RA. We like to call these resident assistants like your big brother or your big sister, because on campus they are there for you all the time. They also, any questions about your courses, campus, your rooming, your roommates, your suite mates, they will help you with it. And so after their training, the RAs clearly understand that they serve as agents of the St. John's Catholic and Vincentian mission for the residents. The RAs provide assistance to each student, and the resident assistants assist residents with problems or questions, like I said. They're also assigned to directly oversee residents in a particular floor or wing. So in majority of the residence buildings, the floors are divided strictly by gender, but in the instance that it does need to be split, the floor will be split by a wing. So one gender will be on one side and the other gender will be on another. So typically, and also typically, your RAs will be the same gender as you. A little bit about, so obviously the resident students all know about the St. John's policies and serve as sources of help within the institution. So we did speak about roommate selection, the agreements, but I also like to take the time to say that REs plan residence hall events. So in the residence halls, you will have lounges on every floor. So some of them include a game room, a movie room, a kitchen, full kitchen with stove and a full fridge. You also have a study room, and in these rooms, the resident assistants actually host events. So I've been to a lot of these events as I have been here for 30 years already, living on campus. But some of these events could include a movie night. Some events will include that they'll do a baking event. Some will do a self care night. Bremen could talk a little bit more about this, but a lot of these events are just to have you meet the people on your floors and the people in your building. However, anyone can attend. So, as long as you live on campus, these events are totally open to you. And the RAs really try to do their best to make it such a safe and fun environment for the students. And they do give a lot of free things away. So, keep your eyes out as well. Raymond, do you have anything to add on this side?
I mean, I could touch a little bit more on the programs. So some of the programs we've done in the past, like we've done, like Emma said, movie nights, self care nights. We do game nights, and it's really just to get you out of your room and meeting the people that are in the building on the floor. Because I know a lot of times in college, everyone likes to stick to their friends, but it's always fun to meet new people. And a lot of people look at the RAs as a figure of authority, but we're students like you. We're here to be your friends as well. So it's a good way for us to meet you, you to meet us, and just to meet everybody on the floor.
Perfect. So, we're going to head on. Again, Raymond is going to keep his eye out for the chat as well. All right, so this is just a little bit about student involvement on campus, and I'm just going to talk about this briefly. There are more Johnny on the Spots that you can sign up for that cover specifically student involvement, campus life, but I'm just going to touch on it briefly because if you are a resident student, you will tend to see these events on campus. So we do have a lot of extracurricular activities, including opportunities to join academic, cultural, and recreational and/or service-oriented clubs. There's also experience to involve in volunteer work. So St. John's is really based on giving back to the community. So we have a lot of volunteer programs, and it just gives you a chance to make a positive impact on the campus community and outside of it. We also do have a lot of internship opportunities through career services. We also have different workshops and career fairs and networking events. And lastly, we do have a lot of events that we'll get into and that you might see on other Johnny on the Spots, but a lot of activities on campus that are in the residence village and near the residence village that really help students get to know one another, and you also again can get a lot of free merchandise. Okay, so we're just gonna move on. Unfortunately, this presentation will not be shared, but you can always just take a picture of the slides if anything, and I can always give my email out just in case I can send it on over, but it won't be posted on the website. All right, so Raymond, if you just want to talk about the dining on campus, and I'll just respond to some of the questions in the chat.
Yep, sure. So we have a lot of dining options here on campus. So here are two of our main dining options, which is our Montgomery Dining Hall and our Market Montgomery. So Market Montgomery is kind of like a little attached mini mart to our Montgomery Dining Hall. It's open 7 days a week when classes are in session. It provides grab and go as well as meal exchange options in addition to like a convenience store atmosphere, like I said, and grocery options throughout the year. For Montgomery Dining Hall, we call it Monty's. It's an all-you-care-to-eat dining hall that's open 7 days a week with late night hours. I believe it closes at 1 o'clock in the morning when classes are in session, of course. It's open to all students. It serves a large variety of breakfast and a breakfast menu. International entrees, pizza, pasta, burgers, and grilled items. It has an extended omelet bar, salad bar, deli sandwich and wrap stations, a dessert bar, and a bunch of other things. One thing I know that's not mentioned is we do have a hibachi Blackstone, so almost every day when you go in there, there's the option to have hibachi, and it's really good. So there's a little bit of something for everybody in there, and yeah, it's a good place to eat on campus. It's one of our main hubs for students to also not only just eat but to hang out.
Perfect. And we do, I believe, have another slide about dining on campus. But I always like to point out that if you are a freshman and you are a resident student, you are required to have the Carte Blanche meal plan. It's our unlimited meal plan on campus, and it's unlimited and it's required because St. John's wants just to make sure that you have a seamless transition your freshman year. So if you're used to eating a lot at home. They just want to make sure that basically you're full on campus and that you have the food that you need. So the unlimited meal plan is 999 swipes a week. I've never met anyone who has hit that or come close to it. So if you do end up coming to St. John's, you can always try to test that out as well. All right, so let's move on to the next slide, which is dining on campus continued. Raymond, sorry I cut you off.
You're good. So here are a couple of our other dining options. So like I said, Montgomery is like our main hub, but we also have other options if you don't like what's in Monty's that day. We have a Dunkin', a Starbucks, Taco Bell, simple. Everyone knows what those are. We have Einstein Bros Bagels, so it's another place to get coffee and breakfast food. And we have our Marillac Food Court, which has a bunch of different options like a Burger King, another Dunkin', Freshens, which we say is like a healthy Chipotle. It has a Subway, it has a sushi spot, and I believe we just added the Johnny's Chicken Shack, which is our like own little chicken spot. It's pretty good. I had it the other day. And yeah, I believe that's everything.
Perfect. Does anyone have any specific questions about the food on campus? I know this is a big factor for a lot of students, especially when they visit universities. So if you have any specific questions about the food, we also do have a registered dietitian and nutritionist on campus at all times. So if you have any, if you're gluten free, if you're vegan, vegetarian, anything like that, if you have any allergies, and you're worried about eating on campus, you can always check in with them so they can kind of make a meal plan for you. And Isabel said, are we able to get jobs on campus? So this kind of relates to how to get involved on campus, but I'll just briefly mention it. Are we able to get jobs? Yes, you are. There's positions for work, study, and student employment. All you would have to do is visit Human Resources and also fill out the student employment application as well. And so these jobs can range from being in the library, this can be a campus recreation job, you working in our gym facilities. There's multiple opportunities on campus. Tara said the name brand restaurants are included. Yes. From what I understand from your question, you're asking if like the Taco Bell is there. Yes, there's a Taco Bell, Starbucks, Einstein Bro Bagels. All of that is like the actual brand restaurants. Those are the name brand. Sorry, Tara, if that wasn't your specific question. Oh, included in the dining plan. Okay. So in your dining plan, you will have the option to do a meal exchange. So, and let's say you want to go to Marillac, which is where our kind of name brand locations like restaurants are located. You'll be able to exchange a meal at Montegoris for a meal at Marillac, which means that you can get a meal exchange, which is, yes, you can order from those brand restaurants if you do have a meal plan. It would just be under a meal exchange, or you could use your dining dollars as well. And they do obviously take card, cash, and Apple Pay as well. No problem. Is there a dining hall dedicated to meal prepping? There isn't a specific dining hall dedicated towards that. As of right now, you cannot take food out of Montegoros, but a lot of people do. So as long as you make it discreet, I'm just going to say you can. But a lot of students also, a lot of like in our marketplace, they do have items for you to actually cook yourself. So there's a lot of fresh fruit. There's also like some frozen options as well. So those are always good for last minute grocery shopping as well. All right, so I'm going to move on. Feel free to keep asking your questions. Thank you guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about student services. Again, as a resident student, it's important to know what is on campus and what is available to you. Again, these are all available to commuter students as well, but I just like to mention it. So we do have a health service building. It is located in the bottom of De Silva. And it's kind of like your school nurse, I like to say. So they have healthcare professionals there for your physical well-being. So let's say you do get sick and you're on campus, and let's say you are from Texas, California, any far state, you can always just go to them for your health care. We also do have a lot of like WebMDs near us. We do have a lot of urgent cares, so those are always handy as well. We do have counseling services here at St. John's University, so this provides confidential support for mental health and emotional well-being. As of right now, they are completely online, but you do get 99 free hours with a counselor, so it's always something that you can take advantage of, especially coming from out of state or it's your first time living on your own. It can be a great thing to talk to someone about what you're going through. And as for academic advisement, this you will hear about in a lot of the other Johnny on the Spots, but we do have guidance for your course selection and academic planning if you would like. Otherwise, you can choose your schedule for yourself as well. We do have a career service option, what I talked about before, but it is a building, and if you are also in the Peter J. Tobin College of Business, you have one of your own. But all students have access to assistance with job searching, resume building, and career exploration. Typically, you also will have a career advisor once you get to St. John's as well. And lastly, it's going to be financial aid. So all students can receive guidance on financial assistance options and scholarship opportunities. So just like to briefly go over this. Okay. Raymond, if you want to talk about campus safety.
Yep. So for campus safety, we have a multitude of security services. We have dedicated personnel for our campus security. Those are our public safety officers. So when you're on campus, you'll see them. They patrol around. They drive around in their cars. They're always around and they're always active. We have multiple emergency protocols in place for various emergencies and safety measures. We have well-lit pathways and security cameras. We have a blue light system, and our campus is gated. So the blue light system, we have multiple blue light towers around campus. So if you're ever feeling unsafe, you can tap the emergency button on that, and all the cameras in the area will point to you, and there will be a public safety officer at your feet within 30 seconds. And our campus is gated, so at I believe it's 11 o'clock, every gate shuts down except one of our gates to allow our students to get in and out, but you would need to swipe in. We have a campus alert system, so we have a notification system for safety updates and alerts. So if public safety ever needs to alert us of anything going on, they can send out a mass text or a mass phone call or email at the press of a button. We have reporting procedures with clear guidelines for reporting safety concerns, and we have a lot of community engaging programs promoting a safe and inclusive campus environment.
Again, if you have any questions about campus safety, I know that is a big concern for a lot of students and also for a lot of parents and guardians. So we do have a full page on our website about our campus safety and our public safety that we have. But again, please leave any questions in the chat if you are wondering about anything. All right, so I also like to include a page for just tips for success. So this, again, is for residents and commuter students, but just things that I think are important. So just time management, prioritize your tasks and create a schedule. Study techniques, find what works best for you and stick to it. Seek help. Don't hesitate to ask for assistance from professors or tutors. Stay organized. Keep track of assignments, deadlines, and important dates. Take care of your self. Maintain a healthy balance between academics and personal well-being. Set goals. Have clear academic and personal goals and work towards achieving them. And lastly, stay positive. Stay motivated and maintain a positive attitude, especially during challenging times. So we all understand, and St. John's understands that, especially if you're coming far from home or even if you live 15 minutes away. It can be difficult living on campus your first year, and it is a big step for a lot of us. It was a big step for me as well. So if you are nervous about the situation, don't worry. Everyone is going to be in the same boat as you. Everyone's going to start making friends. Everyone's going to learn about the campus and their favorite spots. But again, just remember that St. John's acts as a support system, and we all are a family. So I know you guys might be nervous, but nerves are good, and you will, I promise, have a great time at St. John's. So Emily, to answer your question, do you pay housing per semester or per year? So it's per semester. That's a great question. I just want to get into, so for housing, if you decide as a freshman, if you want to live on campus your fall semester, that's amazing. But let's say your fall semester is over and you decide that you possibly want to commute, you can go ahead and commute. So it's really up to you. The housing is based on a semester basis. So let's say you need to have, you need to schedule a move out after the end of the semester, you would just be able to move out your things, and obviously you would have to tell your roommate, or your roommate will then find out. This is a great option just in case you did want to try um, living on campus and then commuting. But then let's say your sophomore year comes, you can live on campus again. So it kind of really is up to you, and it is a flexible schedule, and it's really great for students who aren't sure that maybe live local, but they still want to get that on campus experience. All right, so we're going to move on. So this is just a slide, and you guys feel free to take a photo of this, but it is also on our website. This is just a big kind of how-to for university housing. So step 1 is obviously to put down your deposit. Step 2 is apply and sign the housing agreement. Step 3 is then select your room, your roommates, and your meal plan. So you will be selecting your meal plan, but for freshman students, it's going to be the carte blanche if you live on campus for freshman year. So feel free to take a photo of this slide. Again, it is on our website as well. And Raymond, if you have anything to add about this, you have more experience than I do, feel free.
Yeah, it's just like you said. You put your deposit down, and then on, I believe the website is Starrise Housing. You'll submit your housing application and your housing agreement, and the sooner you put your deposit down, the sooner your priority will be in selecting the building you want to be in and the room you want to be in. So once you put that deposit down, you get access to the application and the agreement. You sign that. Once it gets submitted, you'll have access to our portal where you can see the various roommates. You can take our little like Match.com quiz, and you can see what building is open and what rooms are open for you guys.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to move on to one of our last slides, which is just going to be our conclusion. So again, this is kind of similar to like my tips of success slide, but just remember to embrace new opportunities and experiences, especially if you do decide to live on campus your freshman year. Stay engaged in campus life and activities. So you're going to see a lot of different events going on outside the residence halls, in the residence village, on campus. And what I suggest is just try to do your best and try to get involved in that. Even if it's going over to a table, getting a free t-shirt, you'll never know who you'll meet, and you'll never know what you're ending up getting involved in. My freshman year, I took the first semester to try to just get to know myself and get to know what's on campus. And then my second semester, freshman year, I really started to get more involved on campus and join different clubs and organizations. We have over 180 organizations on campus, and if you do not find something that you're interested in, you can always make one with a couple of signatures. So it is really a great opportunity to get involved on campus if you're a commuter or if you do decide to live on campus. I also like to say take advantage of our academic resources and support services, build relationships with peers, professors, and advisors, stay focused, set goals, and strive for success. And remember, it's okay to ask for help when needed. So it's okay to ask professors for help, your peers, your roommates, your suite mates, but especially your RAs as well. And remember, enjoy your freshman year and make the most of your college journey. So we're just going to head on to the last slide, which is kind of just our thank you. And if you guys have any questions, again, we have about 20 minutes. So if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to leave it in the chat. Raymond and I will stay here. But if not, you are free to go. And thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Yes. Oh, that is such a great question. So, is there a laundry room? So, in all the buildings, not only do you have those lounges, but on the bottom floor, most of the time, you will also have our laundry facilities. So, our laundry facilities, they do have, I would say, about 7 washers, 7 dryers, or even more than that, maybe 10 and 10. These are available for all the students that are located in that building, and it is completely free. Additionally, all you have to do is just bring your dry sheets and your Tide Pods. We do also have, if you're just talking about our facilities, we do have access to free Spectrum TV, free Wi-Fi, and obviously every room. Every room also has a bed, a desk, closet space, and a bathroom. So we don't have communal bathrooms here, which is something I forgot to mention. Additionally, we also have AC in the room themselves, so you will never have to deal with the floor controlling it. It would be your individual room. You just would have to agree with your roommate on the temperature. Let's see. Are there any events pre-move-in that let students get to know each other a bit more before going into school? Yes. So typically, freshman students who do live on campus, you are already going to have an orientation date. An orientation is typically where you just meet a good amount of people in your year, and you have your sorry, you have your, there's a couple people on campus that help you kind of get to know the campus, and they lead you around campus, and you do a bunch of icebreakers, and it's a lot of fun. But we also have freshman students move in typically 3 to 4 days, I feel like, before regular move in for other students, like sophomore, junior, seniors. So freshmen are the first ones on campus. They can stay there for a couple days, get to know each other, get to know their roommates and suite mates, get used to campus, and then that's when the rest of the university moves on campus. And during those days, the first week or two, we have a lot of events in the residence village. So we have an activities fair, we have the sorority and fraternity. So our Greek life hosts a lot of tables. We have the Sunset Festival, which is where a lot of orgs will come with their friends, and it's a lot of free food, music, DJ. So a lot of great events to look forward to if you do decide to come to St. John's. So I also see a question from Tara that says, are cars allowed if you're dorming, and is there a fee? So you are allowed to bring your car on campus. If you are a resident student, it does kind of go based off of a lottery system. However, I've never really heard of someone um, not being able to have the car on campus. So typically for resident students, it's going to be $500 for the year. So for both the fall and spring semester. And then for commuters, just in case you're wondering, it's $100 per semester. But there are specific parking lots. So if you do decide to have your car on campus, just make a note of the parking lots, or just give public safety a call after you move in. Emma, great name. You asked, do the rooms fill up quickly usually? If I want to wait a couple months to choose housing, will my options be more limited? I'm going to say that if you do want to live on campus, you're going to want to do that housing application and deposit as quickly as possible. Rooms have been filling up quickly just due because we're having more students on campus. But you will be able to still have a room. It just might not be in the exact building you want. So if you do know of a specific building that you definitely want, or a room that you specifically want, I would suggest filling it out as soon as possible. So we have, what does everyone do on the weekend? So a lot of people join different orgs and clubs on campus. So with that, they usually host events during the week, and sometimes they do like fundraising and philanthropy events on weekends. Additionally, on weekends, there is a lot of restaurants and stores nearby, and you are able to go at your free will. A lot of people also do day trips, so whether that's to upstate New York, to the city, to Long Island, wherever there is tons of opportunities. We're in the middle of New York, so obviously Queens has a great public transit system. So you can take a bus, you can take a train, you can take subway, whatever you would like, wherever you want to go. A lot of people do also do our service events, our service trips, and those are also on weekends as well. So a lot of people will go into the city, will go to different states. It's really all about what you're involved in. Hi. I know Raymond's answering a lot of questions. Oh, yes, Tara. So great question. Are there ever shuttles to do errands? So a lot of our um, a lot of our public safety officials will actually drive you to, let's say you need to go down the block, and you need a shuttle, you can do so. We also do have off-campus housing. That's not for freshmen, but if you do get to your sophomore, junior, and senior year, we do have off-campus housing. The shuttles go to there as well, but they do also typically go to like Jamaica, where we have a lot more where we have a lot of stores and restaurants. Additionally, we have campus activities that host different events. that kind of go into the future. So I know that there is a event coming up, I believe next week, where they actually take you to Woodbury Commons, which is kind of like a mall. So there are different events. You just have to keep your eyes out for them, especially run by campus activities. They'll do events where they'll just take a large group of students who sign up, and whether they'll take them to a park, they'll take them to a mall, restaurants, you name it. Let's see. So, Arlene, if you say, what if you don't feel comfortable with your roommate? If you end up having any issues with your roommate, we do have kind of like an emergency room type of situation. So, God forbid you don't feel comfortable. I highly suggest talking to your RA about it, and they can even help mediate it. Or if it is far past that situation, we do have like emergency housing for those types of students, and you can always have the option to do a room change as long as it's in the deadline period. Kira, great question. Why did you pick St. John's? So I am from Long Island, New York, which is, and my town is only about 15-20 minutes away. However, I do reside on campus and I have for the last 3 years. And reason why I chose St. John's, which I really just feel like they have such a strong community here and it is just a really fun environment. I love being on campus, and even though I do live 15 minutes away, I do spend majority of my time, weekdays, weekends here on campus with my friends and with my different organizations that I'm a part of. So overall, I've just kind of found my own family here, and that's why I really love it. Adam, great question. Are there restaurants shopping within walking distance of St. John's? Yes. So there are restaurants within walking distance from St. John's. There's a lot of takeout, a lot of delis. We do also have shopping options available, but we also do have neighboring towns like Bayside as well, which kind of gives you a wider variety of restaurants and places to eat. And everything obviously can be accessed by Uber, car, public transportation, you name it. How is the food at St. John's? So a lot of people like to ask this question. I enjoy the food at St. John's. Once you pass your freshman year, you have the option of choosing your own meal plan. So at that point, you would be able to choose how many swipes a week you get, how many dining dollars you get. Um, So this is a really great feature because now, like, I'm going to give you my personal experience. I actually was able to drop down in my meal plan the amount of swipes because now I'm in one of the townhouses, which is our junior and senior option. So I actually have access to a full kitchen in my suite. So I spend majority of my time like meal prepping, but then I also have enough swipes where if I really want to go to Subway or if I want to go to Montevoris, our dining hall, then I can feel free to do so at any time as well and use my swipes. Yes, you can order food to campus. It's a great question. A lot of students do. Yes, Isabella, great question. Do the students go to New York City? I know Raymond answered you, but a lot of students also have a lot of internships in the city because it's so local as well. All right, guys, I'm going to give it another 5 minutes just for you guys to answer your last questions, and then we'll log off. But again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining today. And if you liked our Johnny on the Spot, feel free to join and sign up for more. They're going to be located exactly where you registered for this one. And this was the second one we had, so we have plenty more coming in the future. Yes, great question. So the question was, are we able to get packages delivered? Yes, you do. You're able to get packages delivered. They won't come directly to your room. Instead, they will come to our public safety building, which is also known as our ROTC building. In that building is where the packages are all delivered. They're all checked in. Our mailroom is open Monday through Friday, and usually I would say always give it a day for them to actually check in the package itself. Once the package arrives, you'll receive an email. As long as the package has your correct first and last name and your address of your building at St. John's, including your suite or room number, Then they'll send you an email and you'll say, my name is Emma. You'll show them your storm card, which is kind of your ID on campus, and you'll be able to get your package. They just want to make sure that it's you and that your name matches what's on your storm card. And you'll get an email notification when that package ships. No problem, Michael. Thank you. You're visiting on Saturday, Kira. That's perfect. So you're probably going to visit some of our tour guides if you do see them on Saturday. Emily, how comfortable are the beds? The beds are very comfortable. A lot of people also do bring mattress toppers with them, but you are able to bring anything for the bed that you would like, as long as you just keep the bed the way that it is, as in, like you don't mess with like the legs or anything, or we don't allow risers here. The beds can be lifted up themselves. But yes, a lot of people do bring mattress toppers. Are the mattresses a normal twin? Yes, the mattresses are a normal twin. And you can also find the dimensions for everything on the website and what each room includes in what building. I'm not sure if this was answered, but if you're in a single within a suite, are you able to pick your other suite mates? Yes. So if you do end up with a single, you are able to pick what room you're available in, what room you want to be in, and also your suite mates. It can be difficult to choose all the suite mates that you want, but it just depends on the room that you get. Oh, sorry, Raymond said twin XL. Raymond knows better than I am. He's all right. Yes, so I also like to take the time while you guys are typing your last questions to say that Accepted Students Day is going to be held on April 13th this year. It's a Saturday. Both Raymond and I will be present, so you might have us for a campus tour, but definitely you're all accepted students here, so please come. It is a day to celebrate you guys and your achievements and getting into St. John's. It is really important that you come and bring all your family members. It is a day where you can talk to a bunch of deans and professors, view the campus if you haven't already come for a campus tour, and you also get the chance to get a lot of free merchandise and free food as well. Yes, and Raymond answered Tara's question, can we arrange a dorm tour? So for our campus tours, we do show off kind of our mock room for families and prospective students. But again, there are a lot of pictures on the St. John's University website, and it's also, I know a lot of students tend to post like their room on like YouTube, so if you just look up St. John's University. All right, so we're going to give it another 2 minutes. Oh, thank you, Raymond. And Benjamin, will there be a lot of activities on campus before the fall semester and the summer, not including orientation? I believe that the freshman students also have kind of like a freshman barbecue. So the night of move-in or the day after move-in, students will be greeted with a bunch of grills kind of in the residence village, and there's a bunch of food for students. You can sit out and eat on the lawn and just meet with your roommates or attend with your roommates and suite mates. It's a really great experience to just get to know who's in the different buildings and who's in your freshman class. But the fall semester is definitely a fun time. Everyone is really excited coming back from summer to see all their friends and finally be on campus. All right, so just wrap up your last questions, and please feel free to join us for further Johnny on the Spots. No problem, everyone. Thank you for attending. I hope this was a good experience for everyone. Again, these Johnny on the Spots are meant for you guys to ask your questions, and we're very happy that they all were answered. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. And again, if you're looking for any specific information, just visit our website. All right, perfect. And we're going to end it there. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.